Welcome to week 5 of Industrial Analysis, Band 313. In this lecture, we're going to introduce some basic data analysis. How do you make decisions, kind of introduce the idea of inference? How do you analyze, slice and dice your data? Up till now, in the first 4 weeks, we specifically looked at how do we read in data, how do we merge or fuse different data sets. Now we're going to actually start with the analysis itself. In this lecture, I'm going to cover a couple of things, a quick review or some background on the engineering test week results, and introduce this week's case study that we will be focusing on. Right, engineering test week, first semester test, data reading, wrangling, data fusion, date and time. How did you as a cohort of students perform in the individual assignments leading up to the semester test? If we look at the fixed width data set assignment that we did, it went fairly well. The majority of students seem to be able to read in fixed width data. That is, if you have a PDF sheet next to you from which you can actually work. Next, we introduced data fusion, which was taking the household data and the person data from sensors and actually merging them into a new, more comprehensive data set. Here, again, it went fairly well. I'm slightly concerned about 25 students who didn't even participate in that particular assignment. Similar with date and time. That is where we looked at how do you format date and time into different formats and actually convert them so that you can actually do calculations on them. So it seems as if it went quite well. Then what then happened to the semester test? I am aware that there are a couple of students who actually said, but we couldn't read our data. We couldn't get the right brackets. And I'm very sorry to say, but we've emphasized this a couple of times in the first 4 weeks. It is necessary. It is an absolute prerequisite that you can read in the data before you can actually analyze it. And for this particular reason. What I see when I look at this graph are actually two distributions, and later in this course we will get to distributions, but I kind of see two distinct distributions manifesting itself here. There is a fairly large portion towards the kind of left-hand side that does not seem to be mastering the content at this point in time. And then there's a much smaller with a wide or very large variance towards the right that's actually performing better. And these are the students that I think put in the necessary effort to master the material. Still, median of 37.5%. I can only recommend that you pull up your socks and make sure it goes much better in the upcoming assignments and the semester test. Just to give you an access to the exam later in the semester. All right, but that's the semester test. The case study that we're going to look at involves a drilling machine. And we need to make a couple of decisions about our current production line. So we produce engines for remote control vehicles. It's a single cylinder little engine, but a number of these engines have now been returned by the clients. And the fault can actually be traced back to a hole in one of the components, the main cylinder. You see, it requires that we drill a hole into a block of metal. But the hole is drilled by a very old drilling machine. So there's a question from management. How well is our drilling machine performing? Should it be replaced? And if we do replace it, what new machine should we actually get? So how are we going to design the study so that we can make evidence-based decisions here? We will need data on the current drilling machine's performance. And then we need to check if we're going to replace it, if we decide it should be replaced, we also need comparative data from the other machines. So what we're going to do is we're going to subject the current and the other machines to a test. We're going to sample. We're going to take 30 pieces of raw material for each test, drill a hole with a particular machine, measure the diameter of the hole, and record it. So we will end up with 30 observations for each machine, the current machine and 3 alternative machines that we will investigate. And we will compare their results with one another to make the call on whether the current machine is performing up to standard or not, and if we should replace it, by which one. Right, so here's the specification. The hole should have a diameter of 10 centimeters, and it has a tolerance of 0.5 centimeters. Right? Keep it simple. So here's my first question, and I want you to answer this question. Jot down, get a piece of paper, and jot down your answer before actually proceeding. If we were to analyze the performance of this machine, what technique are we going to use? Are we going to look at numerical data, or are we going to look at categorical data? Think about it and jot down your answer. I'll give you a few seconds. The answer is we can use both. We can analyze the hole diameter. If we've drilled 30 holes for each machine, we can measure the hole diameter, and then that is numerical data. Or what we can do is we can actually look at each one of our 30 measurements and classify it as either performing or non-performing. Or to say, is it within spec, true or false? And then that becomes categories. So we can either, in this case, work with numerical data or with categorical data. So here's my second question. At this point, the average hole size for the current machine of the 30 samples is 10.1 centimeter. Is it performing according to specification? Now recall that we said that the hole should be 10 centimeters plus or minus 0.5 centimeters. So what is your answer here? Is the machine performing according to specification? Yes, no, or can't tell. Take some time, think about it, and write down your answer. The correct answer in this particular case is we can't tell. The mean does not actually tell us anything in terms of how many of our parts of these 30 holes that we've drilled actually meet specification or not. And the reason for that is the mean is a very fragile, it's not a robust statistic, right? Another analogy would be if you are driving and you're in the bushes, half of the time in the bushes on the left-hand side of the road, and for the other half of the time you're in the bushes on the right-hand side of the road. On average, you're dead center on the road, but on average, you might be dead. So we cannot use the mean. The mean is a very dangerous metric to actually use. We'll get to that and demonstrate that towards the end of this video. So my third question is, what statistical measurements or figures can actually be useful in this particular analysis? Can you think of something? Plot them. All right, so in this part, we will introduce you to a couple of our functions. We will look at a box plot, which you've calculated by hand in your engineering statistics module. We'll use AB line, we'll use quantile, and if we get around to it, we'll show you the cumulative density function as well. All right, so at this point, I'm going to kind of move over from the video and let's go jump right in to R and see what we can actually do here.